Okay, this is my title, but let's forget about the title because I actually changed my mind. And I will explain by using seven very good cards, the 7 jokers, why the internet is creating a very unique psychological environment that never existed before. Okay? So first of all, we have anonymity. You know, we have this famous caricature with 2 dogs. One is probably on chat, and the other one is asking, what are you doing? And he says, on the internet, no one knows I'm a dog. So one of my famous articles, maybe one of the best articles ever written, is only famous because it's titled. I mean, people come to me and say, wow, you wrote this amazing article called, on the internet, no one knows I'm an introvert. And then I'm asking them, tell me a bit more, what do you know? But I don't actually, they say, I don't know, but the title is very good. Okay, so people can recreate themselves when they come online because they're not trapped in their social persona. No one knows who they are. They can suddenly express themselves. It's fantastic. Think about it. We all have this wish to suddenly, develop this new identity. Here we are. The internet gives us an opportunity. The minute that you have your anonymity, you can recreate yourself. So the other factor is lack of physical exposure. If you think about it, in a lot of websites, people don't know how you look like. And actually, even in the website that people know how you look like, this is actually what you put online. People want to, look at their best. They have the ability to shape the way that they are exposed physically. And this is actually very important. Again, you have a lot of power. I mean, I met someone, a famous academic, after I thought I knew how he looks like. And I looked in the audience, couldn't find him, and I asked someone, where is this person? They pointed at someone. I went to him and I said, I didn't recognize you. I mean, your picture on your website looks totally different. He said, yes, it's 20 years ago. So we have the ability to play with our physical exposure. And also it gives a lot of advantage to kids. You don't know who is the guy that wrote this very clever comment, very clever idea. I mean, it might be someone that didn't go to university, a child, I don't know. But it gives a lot of power. And then we have control. We have a lot of control. If you think about it, if I will say something silly, and I say a lot of silly things, people will realize that I'm ridiculous, I'm a silly person. When it comes to the online, people think that I'm clever. You know why? Because it takes me half an hour to write something. I look at the message, I shape it, reshape it. I think, how would I like people to think about me? So it gives me a lot of power. And by the way, I'm the third person, if you can see from the left side. On the internet, you can find similar others. So what? So what? It's amazing, because you can develop your identity. I mean, you can develop whatever is interesting for you. You can find friends on the internet. I mean, things that you suppressed, things that you didn't allow yourself to express. It's fantastic. I mean, you can't do it when you meet people face to face. You know, for example, if you support a bizarre football team, you can find friends online. You know, for years I used to give this example. I mean, is there anyone here that collects stamps from French Polynesia? No one. No one. But on the internet I found a group of people that collect stamps from French Polynesia. You know, it changed my identity. I felt so minor, I felt like no one cared about me, and suddenly online I found friends. Suddenly I was important. Suddenly I was part of a very important group, and this is fantastic. It changed my life, totally and utterly. The other thing is accessibility and availability. You know, when I started to, Noam, the dean of the communication school, he told one of the stories that when I started to study this field like 16, 17 years ago, a very famous professor came to me and said, what does the internet have to do with psychology? Okay? So one of the other, embarrassing questions was, what is an internet group? I mean, what are these bizarre people? What do they represent? They're probably people that don't have anything outside. You know, like with Second Life. First of all, they said, have a first life, then move to Second Life. So what is it? There's nothing there. I mean, this is for people that don't have real face-to-face interaction, they don't have a real life, then they move. But think about it. Nowadays, every group, every organization that wants to exist has to duplicate itself to the internet. I mean, I don't have to go on Monday night, take a bus, take a car to this, to wait for a meeting. The group is walking with me everywhere. You know, the French Polynesia group? They're walking with me everywhere. I just got a message while I'm talking to you. One second, I have to check it. But, and they are the most significant group in my life, and they are with me all the time. And even if it's not active, they can be active. I mean, I can send something, I'm with them. It's amazing. They create role models, positive reinforcement. I'm suddenly someone important. It's fantastic. Suddenly I transform. Equality. Web 2, we are all equal. Some people are equal a bit more. But, you know, the internet is about us being equal. Think about how much power, you know, someone has. I'm the media nowadays. And I don't have, you know, we just heard it a few minutes ago. Everyone is equal. On the internet, no one knows that I have a Rolex. Actually, I don't. Don't tell anyone, but you know, all these status symbols that we know from face-to-face interaction don't exist online. So I have a fair chance. I mean, maybe my next movie on YouTube would get 2 million people watching it. Maybe I'll become a celeb. Maybe. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I mean, think about it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I'm actually already a celeb. Fun. The internet is fun. I mean, think about it. The internet is amazing. I mean, we got used to get so many things, you know, free, and no one is charging us, and it's only going to get better. I was 3 months ago in a virtual reality lab in Barcelona, months later. Amazing what you can do. I mean, now we can only, you know, watch. You know, it's very limited. Very soon we'll be able to smell, to touch, to feel. It will be real. And the competition is amazing. If you think about it, Facebook has to buy every Monday, Thursday companies. Why? They're the best. Because they know that they won't succeed to be the best tomorrow because we want more. User experience is, you know, it's the name of the game. What was good yesterday is not good today. So we will get more and more. Fun. Amazing. Think about it. It's just unbelievable. So, I'm the media. I can be everywhere. I mean, the world at my fingertips. It's just amazing. I mean, think for example of my miserable doctor, you know. I mean, he has to deal with lots of patients. I have only one illness. I know about it much more than him. I mean, he's listening to me now. I'm giving him advice. I go to Wikipedia and I know more than him. He looks at me like this and he studies very well. And every patient is doing the same to him. I mean, he doesn't even know what he's doing. He's calling his mother, "Mommy, I don't know what I'm doing in this profession. Every patient knows more than me." So, I mean, this is amazing. I just want to give you one example. This boy, Tim Rose, he understood everything that I studied in 20 years. He understood it intuitively, you know, without studying. He created this amazing project through the internet. He contacted big companies that produce sport equipment, and he asked them to contribute some of the things they produce. And then he has people that actually put it together. They put it in a beautiful box, and it's all, you know, delivered. It goes to Zambia, and kids in Zambia get this present, amazing, with all kinds of sport equipment. And he organized everything through the internet. Amazing, you know, fantastic. He's a leader, an e-leader. And Tim Rose is paraplegic. Because it's not relevant when you come to the online world. It's not relevant. Had he come to the office, to the meeting with the head of company X, you know, and the guy would recognize immediately that the guy is paraplegic, he would say, "I'm not going to listen to this guy, he has nothing to give to me. Okay, I'll give him half an hour and then tell him I'll contact him, maybe. But on the internet it's not relevant. All the things that I said just now, they are transforming, changing the life. So what is the conclusion? We arrived in paradise.
Polynesia.
Yes. You got it, you see, but I don't have the money to get there yet, so I'm starting with collecting stamps. the thing is that we arrived in paradise. And actually, I want to tell you that here, I have to finish actually my talk. Why? Because you have to understand that what I said till now is the way that 51% of the internet users perceive the world through this understanding. And if we don't accept it, we will not be able to change anything. Because if we would try to create a total contrast, say things that are absolute, the internet is bad, the internet is very complicated. Actually, it's so complicated that the 7 jokers can turn our life upside down. They can actually become very, very negative. If we think about it, where it's fantastic that people don't know who you are, but you don't know who they are. And people are actually also very aggressive when they have anonymity. I mean, for example, when I wrote my first post online, I wanted to see what people think about what I wrote, and I read things like, this hamburger is not well done. Who paid for his PhD? I got so insulted. I mean, amazing. So I learned to live with it, yes? But actually, think about it. If we have anonymity, then we can become very, very aggressive. I mean, people allow themselves to do things that they won't allow themselves to do when it's face-to-face. Also, the feeling of control can become an illusion because people think that they have the ability, to get out from any situation possible. They allow themselves to get into very risky situations. And we all live in fantasy. We all want to believe in the other side. We all want to believe that this woman that we are now interacting with, she is perfect exactly as she described herself. We all want to believe that in this fantasy, and we get in, especially young people. Young people, the problem is they understand much more than us on technology, but they're not streetwise. They have no idea. They're very naive. And when you combine it with the fantasy, when you combine it with the need for love, yeah, to belong, and suddenly you have these people that promise them all these fantastic things, can be very, very dangerous. Now, finding similar others is fantastic, but it can be all kinds of similar others. One of the groups that we study is Pro Ana. When you have a group of, a girl that is anorectic, and she goes into Pro Ana website, and they tell her actually how to cheat her parents. And they create these role models that basically to starve all the way to death. And it's going with this girl everywhere. Can you imagine it? You can tell her whatever you like. In school, whatever. But this group is going with her. It's actually here all the time, 24 hours with her, giving her role models, positive reinforcement to the most negative behavior. And this is actually what we're facing. We know that now that with the terror organizations that it's actually starting, it's an incubation stage that starts actually online. And one of the things that we're facing now, that these people actually, they are normal people. They're brainwashed, and it's a total incubation process, and then they want to explode. They want to express themselves. It can happen today, it can happen in a week time. That's the way it is. Cyberbullying, we talked a bit about it. I mean, that's the way it is. If you think about it, there's nowhere to hide. This is because the internet is everywhere now with a smartphone. That's the way it is. Now this is a fantastic one. This is not French Polynesia. This is actually the Maldivian. I have a lot of dreams about islands and all this stuff. I mean, we don't have any more separation between work and home. Nothing. I mean, you're all taking your work everywhere. Yeah. There is a guy, actually he saved 6 months, 6 years, I don't know, 60 years to get to the Maldivian Islands. Then he gets to this place. What, you're joking? No, come on. 20 minutes. Thank you.
It's their coffee break.
Okay, so basically he gets there, he walks this wooden bridge, gets to the bungalow, there's this amazing bungalow. He doesn't see anything because he's now at work. He's now busy. He's efficient. The first question he asked wasn't where is the swimming pool. The first question was, do you have Wi-Fi? Then we have multitasking. We're trying to be efficient. We're trying to be a million times in the same place, but we are nowhere. And we're actually losing everything. This is quality time. This is hugging. You understand? This is modern hugging. Actually, it's multitasking. You can hug and you can actually check your messages at the same time. And we sell our happiness. We're so happy. Right? What's the problem? We sell it. Look in Facebook. Everyone is so happy. I mean, never saw so many people smiling. Actually, I have this friend on Facebook. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a mistake. He sends these messages to his wife through Facebook with 500 friends. Mommy, he calls her, you're such a good cake. All this nonsense, I couldn't believe it. Such a schmaltz, you know, it's such a... Anyway, everyone is doing now PR, even Darth Vader, everyone is doing PR. We all need, you know, the selfie, our self-importance depends on how much everyone likes us. This leads to a terrible addiction. By the way, I took a great risk coming here because people might sneeze on me, and it's much safer nowadays to stay at home. I mean, think about it, to do it through the screen. This guy in New Zealand, he was so clever, he did it through the computer. I mean, it can be very risky, we should stay at home, it's much more fun. So this is actually where we're leading to. So we're talking about the storm. We are living in a digital jungle. We're living in, I mean, the storm outside is actually a metaphor of what we experience. This complexity is part of the challenge. When you will get to try to sell the message to other people, then it will be very, very complicated. Therefore, I suggest a lighthouse. A lighthouse that basically talks about, I mean, I know that I don't have a lot of time, so I'm taking the time of the next conference already, 20 minutes next conference, I'm moving there. Okay, sorry. So we have to work on critical thinking because you know, nowadays, I mean, young people have no idea, I mean, we're 24 hours a day, we are exposed to advertising and all this stuff. We need to explain to ourselves, to young people, the difference between short gains and long gains, privacy, intimacy, friendship. Where have they gone? I mean, we had a conference. We called the conference "Old Concept, New Meanings." I mean, but do we actually get the psychological benefits of these meanings? If you have 500 friends on Facebook, is it actually giving you the psychological meaning? It doesn't. It doesn't, because it's meaningless. But kids that are born nowadays to the Facebook, they have no idea. They don't remember how it was before. This is today, and this is the way it was. Intrinsic motivation. One of the things we're going to, in my opinion, we have to sell is actually the quality standards. We have to think about different areas on the internet and create some standards, because it is a jungle. We have to work with a big brother. We have to make sure that we will have some privacy policies that people will understand, not to do it because it's demanded, so no one understands how to run it. I mean, we had a lot of private talks, and a lot of people here said that most people don't understand actually what's happening. I mean, they don't understand how they can control their privacy. Keep it simple. Family, we have to create islands of love. Technology is fantastic, but multitasking is terrible. Multitasking means that you are killing your intimacy in life, because you are never with your dear ones. You always give them the feeling that there is someone more important. You're always losing, you know, this ability to get the power, the energy, the well-being you need from your dear ones, because you're trying to be efficient. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Community involvement. We have to get people more involved in community. We have to get them out. We have to create the kind of games, the kind of things that will motivate young people to get out. We can do it. We can create actually a new concept that actually sends kids outside, that creates this kind of games, create this kind of entertainment where kids will get outside, because this is a necessity. Universal involvement. Here we are all here because we feel that we have to be more involved, that only together we can make this change. So we have, first of all, in universe, when it comes to the universe, we have to get back to Mother Nature, flow. We have to integrate, we have to be where we are, and we have to have the real experience and real being involved in what's happening around us. And this is actually, there are a lot of, by the way, EU project that we can actually enhance them. We can get more and more projects on this side. We can do a lot of, we can get involved in superordinate goals. There's a lot of things that we can do together. By the way, everything is connected. We're talking about conflict. Here we are, people from different backgrounds, and we have this, we feel that we have this need to work together to change the world. This is a superordinate goal. This is something that we feel inside us that only together we can do it. So there are a lot of benefits that we can get out of this project. And competence is basically to translate it, and this is why this is what we hope that we will get at the end of the day to walk the talk. And it was also, I mean, there's a lot more to speak, but Galit is so tough, you know, you'll beat me up after. Thank you very much.